Hey guys, this is Vashtra Reads, bringing you another story to listen to while you do what you do. Tonight's story is called My Little Lily. It was written by the redditor EvilPinkMonkey and was posted to the No Sleep subreddit. I think it's a good one, and I hope you wonderful people do as well. This one is sure to hit you right in the feels. It really did me. It's a special video for me too because I recently changed audio recording platforms just so that I can create more quality content for you guys. I would really like to thank everyone who's been viewing my content and subscribing to me, as it makes me feel like this journey of mine might really work out. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell icon to get a reminder of when I upload a new video. I've officially have a schedule that I will be going by from now on. I will be recording a new video and having it up for you wonderful people every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time. There's also a new Facebook page that you can follow, as I will be sending notifications out there as well when I upload a new video. As always, if you guys have a story you think it would be great for a video, considering posting your story to my subreddit r/Vashtra Reads. Well, without further ado, let's get this show on the road. Lily was born on October 12, 2006. She came into this world a chubby, bright-eyed baby. The only issue was her lungs. She was born very slightly premature and had to spend some time in the NICU as a result. It was devastating as a mother to leave her there, but I knew she would be coming home soon. I visited her every day for the 2 weeks she was in the hospital. She was doing well, but the staff let me know she was a very fussy baby. It seemed as though she cried more than the other children. Come to think of it, the other babies cry less now that she's here, said the NICU nurse to me when I visited. This really didn't strike me as odd, considering all babies are different. I chalked it up to Lily just being upset over the tubes and machines attached to her body. Holding Lily was always such a calming experience. All my nervousness and sadness melted when I held her close to me. I would gaze into her big blue eyes and the entire world would be right. When Lily finally came down, I was elated. I had all her nursery set up, decorated with flowers and owls. Most of her clothing was yellow, and it was all folded neatly in her drawers. It warmed my heart to lie her down in her crib for the first time. I shed a tear as I watched her sleep. My little Lily. As time went on, I noticed that Lily did seem to cry more often than not. I took her to many doctors, but she always checked out fine. The diagnosis was always colic. Nobody could explain her cries any other way. I gave her tummy drops before feedings as directed, but it never seemed to help. I always found that Lily seemed to focus on people more than most babies. I figured that was just me being a proud mother. Everyone thinks that their baby is the best. When Lily started school, I walked her into the classroom. She was dressed in a bright yellow dress, as it had become her favorite color. Her chubby little hands wrapped inside mine. She was such a big girl, I couldn't even believe it. I cried tears of joy as well as sadness when she went into the classroom. A few weeks later, I got a phone call from her teacher. She requested we have a face-to-face meeting to discuss an issue with Lily. I agreed, but was rather puzzled by this. My Lily? Surely she hadn't done anything wrong. I met with the teacher later that day. I shook her hand and sat down in the tiny little pre-K chairs. I swallowed my nervousness down and listened intently as she spoke. We began to draw pictures in class earlier this week, she said as she pulled a stack of white papers. She handed me a picture and asked me to inspect it. I looked down at the picture and gasped. It was a crudely drawn car with a person inside. The person had little X's over their eyes that would have been almost comical in any other situation. The car had driven into a tree. Speechless, I looked at the teacher. Lily drew this. When I asked her about it, she told me she was helping them. She shook her hand and continued, I have seen a lot of things in my 10 years of teaching, but this is a new one. We continued to talk for a few more minutes. I assured her that I would be discussing it with Lily. Maybe it was just from a movie she had seen, but I kept a really close tab on the things she watched. When I arrived home, Lily greeted me at the door. Grandma is crying, she said. I rushed into the house and to my mother. She was sitting at the dining room table with her head in her hands. I walked over to her, my heart racing. Mom, what is it? I whispered. I couldn't seem to find my voice. She looked up at me with tears in her eyes, but a smile on her face. Your father was in an accident today. He's okay, but it could have been much worse. I wrapped her up in a hug and cried with her. We went to the hospital to see my father. He had a broken arm, as well as some contusions, but he was otherwise okay. It was a miracle that I'm alive, he said. The other driver apparently blacked out while driving and ran me off the road. I hugged my dad and sighed in relief. He was hurt, but he was alive. He looked up at me with tears in his eyes. I was headed straight towards a tree, but then I felt the wheel jerk. I just missed it by a few inches. I stared down at my dad, shocked by his story. I looked over at Lily to see that she had a tiny little smile on her face. Lily continued on as normally as possible for a while, other than the random drawings I would find in her room. She never drew a picture like that again at school, but she had a sketchbook full of pictures portraying gruesome scenes of death. The pictures always seemed to coincide with some event that took place surrounding us. Car accidents, heart attacks, random illnesses, death, everywhere I looked. I took her to many therapists over the years, but she always told them she was just trying to help. Therapists were baffled, as Lily seemed like a completely normal little girl otherwise. She never explained further how she was helping people. I tried to be supportive and not pry. When I would, she would just look at me with that little smile and tell me that she was just helping them. Lily seemed to stay tired all the time. But again, doctors never seemed to find any reason for this. They suggested that she increase her fluid intake, try to get more sleep, typical doctor stuff. Then the bruises appeared. She tried to hide them, but I saw them peeking out from under her clothes sometimes. When questioned about them, she would always tell me that she didn't know, or that she had bumped it on something. Again, doctors were baffled. They ran blood tests, but all her blood work came back perfectly fine. They suggested she take a multivitamin with an iron supplement. It didn't help. May 1st, 2018 is when my life changed forever. Lily woke up for school and seemed far more sluggish than normal. I asked her if she slept well, and she nodded yes. I checked her temperature, and it was fine. Do you want to stay home from school today? I asked her gently. No, I'm fine, Mommy. She kissed me on the cheek and flashed her little smile. I love you, Mommy. She grabbed her backpack and went outside to wait on the bus. I watched her out the window, my heart filled with love. She turned around and locked eyes with me through the window. Her eyes seemed so sad, but she just smiled that little smile and waved. She stepped onto the bus and blew me a kiss. Oh, Lily, how proud of her I was. On my way to work that day, I was T-boned by a drunk driver. The impact was terrible. The sound of metal bending and glass crunching all around me was deafening. My car was wrapped around a light pole, and they had to use the jaws of life to cut me out. I was bloody, broken, and in terrible pain, but I was alive. Maybe it was just my imagination, but I felt something wrap me up right before the impact. It was like someone put their arms around me and held me tight. I woke up in the hospital later that day, surrounded by my family. She's awake! My mom almost screamed. Tears were streaming down her face as well as my father's. They wrapped me up in a big hug and cried for a minute. "It's okay, guys. I'm okay." I was taken aback by the level of emotion they were exuding. Sure, it was a bad accident, but I was okay. My mom pulled back and looked at me with sad eyes. I looked around the room for Lily, but I didn't see her. "Did Lily stay at a friend's house?" I asked. I could understand they wouldn't want Lily to see me like this. My mom started sobbing and shook her head no. My heart began to race, and the room started to close in. "Where is Lily, Mom?" My father took my hand and looked at me with eyes so full of sadness. It was almost maddening. "Lily is gone, baby. She collapsed at school today." I stared at him, my heart pounding painfully in my chest. What do you mean, gone?" My father choked back a sob. "She's dead, baby. The doctors can't explain what happened." The sound in the room seemed to stop. I don't recall much after that other than the body-wrenching sobs that escaped me. Time stopped. Everything stopped. The next day, I went to the funeral home. The feeling was so surreal. Not my Lily, not my Lily. The funeral director was very kind and helped me through the process. When we concluded all the paperwork, he handed me a piece of paper. "We found this in her pocket," he said softly. I opened up the white piece of paper and gasped. I felt my heart beating in my throat. It was a drawing. There was a car in front of a light pole. The driver was bloody, but surrounding them there was a yellow light. The tears streamed down my cheeks as I finally realized what Lily had meant all these years. She really was helping all those people. After so many years of taking on their death, she couldn't handle anymore. She had died because she was protecting me. My little Lily. I hope you enjoyed that one, guys. I know I did. It was really heartwarming to think that Lily was kind of like the living embodiment of a guardian angel. At the same time, it was really heartbreaking to know the price that she paid for that kind of power. If you would like to read the story, I'll leave a link to it in the description below. I'll also be linking the new Facebook page and the subreddit. Just remember, guys, stay safe out there, my friends, and I will see you guys next time.